ESA, the European Space Agency, come up with technology that they claim should be able to help deflect uh, impact when it comes to meteors and stuff like that. Um, I don't know if you've been keeping up on it on Facebook or not, but there's been stories that Nancy especially has been putting out, and I'm pretty sure she's getting it off of I always it's Telegram, but it's about and these are actually in the news. It's about these mysterious disappearances and deaths of scientists who are involved with NASA and JPL, and some of them have been involved in this kind of research, where they've been doing research on uh, assessing impact risks and developing deflection technology. Now they've got one that's out. It's called the Hera mission, which is led by the ESA in Europe. Uh, it actively is supposed to participate in like international exercises uh, that are supposed to do test this research and everything. Um, they did their largest drill was in 2025 in response to 3i Atlas when it came to. So that's one reason why I wanted to come out with and discuss that tonight at headlines after come in and talk about that. I just figured I'd run it by you and see what your thoughts are. So, what do you think when it comes to what I just said?
Well, I'm going to just state that as far as aliens coming down and taking and enslaving mankind, I think we've got more pertinent problems at this present moment, financially, more economically, politically.
Yeah, but
we've got more important issues.
one thing we do got to watch out for. Remember that? What is that? That one where the aliens supposed to come to pick them up, but it was a religious group, for best way I could, and they all committed suicide. They all dressed the same and all that, and it was in California.
Rachel Jacobs' turn.
Yeah, Heaven's Gate. Okay. He was supposed to have been talking to their God to where they were supposed to come and pick them up. And the guy, that one that he got information from the dog, his neighbor's dog, about killing people. And that's what I'm referring to. People are using this thing about gods, about hearing this and hearing that, but it's a topsy-turvy because you never know. I mean, but when all these ideals are popping up, it makes you wonder.
You want me to kind of elaborate on that? Because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, back in the in 2015, Ancient Aliens came out with this episode where they were saying, or they were talking about aliens being able to, who were mistaken as deities or gods, who were able to transmit information directly in the brain. Okay, and they started using serial killers like the son of Sam, who said that dogs were giving him information in his head. Okay, this started talking about other things too, like they were talking about not what they were called, but back in the beginning of Christianity, there was a group who would literally antagonize people into attacking them because they wanted them to murder them so they could go to heaven. They could be considered martyrs.
Mm-hmm.
they got into a lot of this stuff, and they were bringing up the question of are there aliens out there who are putting messages within the human brain to cause people to do stuff?
Maybe, but I would also argue that there is a lot of nuts out in this world.
Which brings us to the most important thing when it comes to control. Robert, I want to ask you what is your view on remote viewing?
Well, it depends on how for what they show on there on TV and all that, and the way they talk. Okay, remote viewing can be a wide variety of different things. You could be talking about here, or like when you're asleep, and they're saying that when people are asleep, they can view, or they can pick up things when they're asleep as well. Plus, when you put yourself into a certain, how you say, where you're not asleep, but you're like in a state of mind where you don't pay nothing around you. You don't hear, or you're like in a coma almost, where you're out of your you're out of your body, and you see things and all that. And they have said that people have that ability where they can leave their body, go to places, as long as the body's not moved, they can come back, enter their body, and put all the stuff on paper. And there's others that sees it like they're saying about, they can see things and they write it down, and trying to, what you call it, art it, make art out of, to where it shows more of it.
Drawing.
Yeah, drawing. Okay.
Now, the thing I wanted to point out is like there is a difference between remote viewing and out of body experiences and astral travel. Now, the other night, Nancy had Robert Morningstar on, and they were talking about this. And the one thing that, especially when it comes to dreamscape, when you're talking about dreamscape, there's the majority of the time what that really is astral. That's not remote viewing. Okay, now remote viewing is when you're still within your body and you're able to see things from different areas or different locations, but you're still in your body, right? Now astral travel is when you're literally supposed to be leaving the body, and that's actually kind of harmful too if you go according to those beliefs, because you're leaving your body unprotected. That's where you can actually, your body can be taken over by somebody else. And Mark talked about walk-ins, and I think Robert actually mentioned it too, but these are people who can actually go in and invade your body and take over while you're out of body, having an out-of-body experience. Now that is all about astral travel. That's not remote view. People who remote view are people who actually can see things and still be within the body. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Well, you can be asleep as well.
Right.
And it's hard to say. Well, it's like I had a dream about when I would come back. We were about to move back here to Illinois. I had a dream about the process and all that, and the areas and all that of my town was in it. It just seems odd, but when I did wake up, it was just a thing that, yeah, it was the weirdest thing. And they're on their thing too, on Ancient Aliens. They're saying that the stuff that they do come up with, it just appears into their minds after, like when they were asleep or something. They get information, and they write it down. And they said that sometimes it's not them that it just comes to them in some strange way. Information, technology wise, and all that. Like, I can't think of, I forget his name. Um, the one that made the most Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay, for what they said about him, that for 2 years, no one knows where he was at.
Hmm.
He just disappeared or off the planet, more or less. No one seen him there or anything. And for what he was doing at the what you call the big church, they had them little rooms up in there that was nice and balanced. The it wasn't hot and it wasn't cold, but just the right. He was cutting into them and writing down all the information that he was doing of the condition of the body, male and female, and everything else about it. And during that time, he was writing down blueprints of crafts like submarines, airplanes, and all that. But they were saying that ancient aliens, someone probably he walked in and to that cave that he likes to go to, but he was gone for 2 years during that time when he was real young.
They also said the same thing with Jesus too. He actually was supposed to have vanished. Wasn't in
Yeah, well, it was through formal lightning. It lit up the sheet that he was under that made the blueprint of his body of it.
yeah, the shroud of
Current.
Turin.
Chewing.
Okay, so now that we've covered that, what I wanted to do is move on to something that came out of the Bible, and this is something Mr. Robot pushed. I've already gone over this with Mark, and they understand the sanity of it, but you can comment if you want to. We both know Mr.
Anything
Robot.
Mr. Robert says is insane.
Okay, so
Oh,
he says
my
that
son.
he says that remote viewing shows that it was clearly reptilian beings living underground that telepathically implanted visions of Moses
Clearly.
and other prophets as an agenda to eventually control the planet. Now, he uses,
Obviously, clearly.
yeah, he uses numbers 26 or 21:6 as an example of it. Okay, where King Uzziah died, and during that time it says that he saw the Lord seated on a throne, and he was high and exalted, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Then it goes on to talk about above him stood the seraphim, each having 6 wings, and 2 wings. No, with 2 wings they covered their faces, and with 2 they covered their feet, and 2 they were flying. Now, that's out of the Bible. And then it goes on to say, and they called out to one another, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. All the earth is full of his glory." And they weren't too kind to Isaiah. Because after that, what they ended up having him do is take hot coals, or they actually took the hot coal, placed it to his mouth. Seraphim. Again, this is all coming out of the Bible, okay? And what Mr. Robot was basically saying was that they actually were putting these the telepathic, they implanted visions telepathically into Moses and other prophets.